that lady could have given those certificates to those people, the plane could have been booked. That was a Friday. It was a Friday. The plane could have been booked on Monday. I'm telling you, that was the first saving moment. And I pray that God really blesses that woman. Ooh, even to say that woman, I feel like I'm disrespecting her because she deserves she deserves the respect, man. Hi and welcome. I am Lucia Mukwa. You are watching my true story from Duldung to Legal Residency in Germany. I'll be releasing new episodes every Wednesday and Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed. Let's continue. Yo, guys, the amount of times I did this YouTube video introduction. Yo, I haven't been on YouTube for almost 2 years and I totally just forgot how to do this. I totally forgot how to do this. But anyway, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good day, good evening, wherever you are watching from. My name is Lucia Mukwa. I am the founder of Empowering Immigrants, a channel that I started almost like 3 years ago now. The other time I shared on my Instagram that it was 4 years ago, but then I actually recalculated it's actually 3 years. I founded Empowering Immigrant to empower other immigrants like myself who has moved to the diaspora for greener pastures and for whatever reason. I moved to Germany. I'm currently in Germany. I live in Germany. I moved to Germany as an asylum seeker, and I went through hell as an asylum seeker. And I decided 3 years ago, I decided to just press play, and just share my journey with other people, just to motivate other people and to share my 2 cents of my journey, just to let others know that they are not alone. Um, we don't heal alone, we don't grow alone, we grow together. And I definitely hate gatekeeping. I love listening to people, helping people. It's just one of my values, it's my objectives. So yeah, that's what I do. And so for those that don't know me, there it goes. Oh my goodness, I just did the intro. I just did the intro. Yes. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move on. I am back on YouTube because I made a covenant with God. For the past, I don't know, a few months ago, I made a covenant with God that, Lord, if you bless me with A, B, C, and D, if you open this door for me, I will testify. I will testify with the world. I'll testify with everything that is in me. I'll scream to the top of my lungs about your goodness. I will testify with everything that I've got, like whatever platform that I have and everything. So yeah, that's why I'm here, to share my testimony, to share my journey. The goal is to really show the glory of God, because even myself, I'm still amazed. This intro doesn't even do what I'm about to share with you guys any justice. I've been really struggling with this YouTube intro. I haven't done this in a long time, but please bear with me. I have a lot to share with you guys. Your let's just get started. I think I just want to sit here, relax, and just tell my story from the beginning. So what the Lord actually did for me right now, as I'm seated right now today, I am a social media manager. I just got a job as a social media manager in the government of Germany. And mind you, if you have followed my journey and you've watched all my testimony videos and my life updates and everything, you know that I'm an asylum seeker. You know that I was on a Duldung. You know that I was facing deportation and that caused depression and everything. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, let me let me reintroduce myself. You are looking at the social media manager of Landesinitiative Fachkraft in Focus, which is an initiative from the Ministry of Social and Works and Gesundheit in Germany. So literally in the government. Yeah. And I have also gotten legal papers. So from Duldung to legal residency. And can you imagine? Can you imagine? And the way I'm saying it, that, oh, I am this now, and I'm, can you imagine? And all this happened in just a week. So I'm about to share the whole story, the whole process of how I got to get the job, how I got to get the legal residency. So if you go get a drink, okay, go get yourself a drink, pour yourself whatever quenches your thirst, be it tea, be it coffee, be it a glass of wine, because it's about to get it's about to get down. It's about to get down. So, sure, yeah, the Lord has been great. The Lord has been great. Let me start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning. Jokes aside, I joke a lot anyway. If you don't know, I always throw a little bit of jokes here and there. So, and because also I haven't done this whole YouTube thing, this video might be all over the place, but have mercy, bear with me. I'm about to share something that might really motivate you and encourage you and give you hope if you are also in a situation like me, or you have been in my shoes before, or you are currently working in my shoes. Because you're being an immigrant, and especially in Germany, or maybe it's like that all over, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like if you have lived, you are living right now and you have never moved to a foreign country, you have never lived. You didn't live yet. You have a lot to you've got a lot of lifing to do. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, let me start the story from the top, from the beginning. Last year, 2025, the beginning of last year, 2025. The beginning of last year, 2025. No, 2024 December. Let me start from there. 2024 December, during the week of Christmas, it was Christmas, and I had to go to I was still living on social fees, like government social fees, because I was not working. I just came from 3 months of what we call Takas Clinic in Deutschland. I was depressed. I went through a lot of depression and anxiety attacks, and I was totally mentally sick. Not like crazy, but depression. Let's get that right. Yeah. So I couldn't work. I had to continue to live on the social grants. And yeah, so December, the last week of the week of Christmas, we were getting ready to go get our money so that we can prepare for Christmas. And yeah, uh, when we went to the office to go get paid, that's when all hell broke loose. That's when everything started. It wasn't a normal day that day. They called us up, me. Let me just talk for myself. They called me up, to because the social office and the Ausländerbehörde offices are in the same building. So they called me up and they gave me a letter that says that on the 10th of January, you have an appointment in Halle with your Botschaft, with your embassy. I don't know what the letter stated, but at the end of that, or it also said that you have been living on a Duldung. A Duldung is a temporary permit that allows you to continue to live in Germany while they're figuring out how to deport you, literally. Let's be honest, right? How they're figuring out how to deport you because maybe they don't have your passports yet, or whatever, your passport expired, they are lost, or so. So what was written in the letter was that, okay, you are living on a Duldung, you are not supposed to be here. Your asylum case was denied and you have to go back to your country. So now we are calling you to an appointment on the 10th to go and meet your Botschaft will be there, to go and meet with your Botschaft. And you must be there. You have to go. You cannot not go. You have to go to this appointment. Yeah. And then I said, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going. We had to sign, they let us sign some documents, like literally applications for our passports, because my passport expired back then. So they forced us literally to sign these applications, to fill in the application and sign it for our passports. Otherwise, we were not going to get paid, blah, blah, blah. And you remember, I'm not working. I have two kids that I have to feed at home, so I cannot not sign it. And also, why no mutu no muhu no hori. So I immediately just signed the pay. I literally filled in the application for our passports and signed it and left it and got the money and came back home. And along the way, I decided, you know what, Lucia, I am going to put this aside, this matter aside, and just enjoy Christmas and give my children the best Christmas ever because yeah, it's a tradition for me and my children. We love Christmas. We enjoy Christmas. And I think it's something that I grew up with also back home. You're in Namibia. If it's December, you will leave your problems in Windhoek. You will go you will go to the village and just go enjoy yourself like you do not have any problems. Like you put aside your problems in December. When it's December, you put aside your problems, especially that Christmas week. You put aside your issues, you put aside your problems, and you go and live it up. That's how we were raised, and that's the atmosphere that we've got, and it's beautiful. It's the favorite season of the year for me and my children, and I wanted to keep it that way. I was like, let's just go and enjoy Christmas. Let me put this. We bought a big Christmas tree, matching pajamas. I was also living with an acquaintance at the time, and yeah, invited a few friends. We lived it up. We had fun. We ate. We drank. We took photos. I didn't even tell my acquaintance, the acquaintance that I was living with as well, what has just happened because one, she was also going through a lot, and I just didn't want to give more stress to her towards something that we had no control of. This meeting was gonna happen. It's happening, whatever not. So what's the use of like spoiling our Christmas, giving her the stress and everything else? So I thought I'm just gonna put this aside. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Let's just have fun and we'll talk about it when Christmas is over. That was the deal. And we did just that. We enjoyed Christmas with my kids. And then as the Christmas days were going by, were passing, you know, what started to go around in Germany. People started to call people that were also in the same situation. Because remember, I was not the only one. Actually, it was all the Namibians. I think in Sachsen-Anhalt, something like that. All the Namibians in Sachsen-Anhalt were meeting the embassy and they were trying to fix this thing as to how can we get these people out of here. They are illegally staying here. So people started to contact each other, like, did you also get this letter? Did you also get this letter? Like, what's happening? What should we do? So at that point, I also just had to tell my acquaintance, and we tried to talk about it and yeah, look to share. And just again, that's what we do, as diaspora, as immigrants. We try to share things, we try to hold each other and just share the pain together, literally. So anyway, some people decided not to go. Some were like, okay, let's go. Some were like, yeah, let's look for solutions and whatnot. I was just like, at that point, I was just coming in November. I was just released from the Takis clinic early November before I did my workshop and stuff for empowering immigrant in Leipzig. I was just coming from a Takis clinic. I've been fighting depression and everything. And this depression also started because of the whole deportation thing. If you have not watched my testimony videos, I think the two last videos, you will not understand this video quite well. I think go watch those two videos and then come back to this one. If you can pause here and go and watch those two videos just to understand my journey and what I'm talking about and why I'm even sitting here telling you guys all of these things because it's been a journey and it's been a hard one. I've been dealing with depression. I have been dealing with depression that was also caused because of this deportation stuff because late 2023 people that were close to me got deported and that started the whole sickness of this depression and stuff like that. So in November I was just coming out of just coming out of like the hospital and trying to figure my life out and everything. So I had no energy. I was tired of fighting this and just making it my life anchor, or I don't even know what, but I was exhausted in my spirit and I was really vulnerable. And at some point, I decided, you know what? I am going to go to this meeting. Let's go see what's going to happen. And you know what? If they're going to deport us, then let them do it. I was so exhausted. I was tired of fighting. And I was just like, I'm going to go. If they deport us, then let's go back to Namibia. I was so quick to pack. I was so quick to pack up. I started. I think I started cleaning. I started packing, even like the ninth, the night before we had to go to the appointment in Halle on the 10th. The appointment was on the 10th. I already started packing. Why was I quick to pack? Because I was ready to go back to Namibia. And if you have known me, if you've been close to me, I've always had that double mindset also. Even if you listen to my other videos, like, should I go back to Namibia? Should I stay? And the Lord has been the one that has kept me in Germany, kept me by force and by fire. It has not been my will. I've been tired. I just felt like quitting and come whatever may in Namibia, I was just ready. Whether I was just gonna go and deal with all my baby daddy issues again and um yeah, the whole struggle of rebuilding and everything. And I was just ready to like literally just go. If I had to go die in Namibia, let me just go die in Namibia, you know? All I could think of was just a hug from my mother and just to sit on my mother's lap and just to be home. I was tired. So when the people were saying like, yeah, we're going to some people were like saying, no, we're not going to go to this meeting or whatnot, or let's go. I was just like, I'm going, I'm going. I'm tired. I picked up and yeah, we went. The 10th came, we went. I didn't even end up going with all the stuff that I picked. I just took a little small bag of like my important documents. Yo, I was so exhausted, guys. January last year, 2025. We went to Halle. Um, the journey started from here to Haldensleben. From Haldensleben, we got into the taxi with the Ausländerbehörde people and we went to Halle. As soon as we arrived in Halle, guys, as soon as we arrived in Halle, there was literally like maybe 20 police officers. Something sang in my heart like, okay, this is it. This is it. We are going home. It's really happening. We are going home. We got out of the car and I'm with my two kids. We got out of the car. They take us into this building. All of us now, it's me and a few other Namibians, the ones that decided to come. There's some that decided they are not going. Um, so we went into the building and we had to go into this office one by one. We're held in another office, and in the office that we were held, they were like police officers. You know how they come holding them here. This German styles, holding their guns and stuff like that. They were literally guarding us in this other room with kids. Our kids, no, I know she was feeling it too. I know she was also scared, but she's someone that will not really show. And plus, she's a kid. She just want to draw and keep herself busy. I think the kids they block what's happening around them if they are smaller. They avoid, they block, they pretend it's not happening or they cannot see what's happening. But you can see, if you're a mother, you know that this child is scared and wondering what the hell is going on here. But my son, I've never, ever, ever seen my son shiver like that. My son was literally shivering. Like, what is all this police? What is it? What did we do wrong? you know? Um, We waited in the waiting room, and then we had to go one by one to the other office where now the embassies were sitting, and the chef, the bosses of the Ausländerbehörde, and stuff like that. The top guns. It was our turn. We went inside, and then they said that, okay, we have received. Remember, I made the application for the passport and I signed it. So the Ausländerbehörde, the board of the embassy lady was like, yeah, we received your passport applications. This is your situation, like came with an asylum seeking, whatever. Now you live on a Duldung, the temporary permit. We received your passport applications, so we are going to give you, what do you call that? Emergency travel certificate? Yes. We are going to assign for you an emergency travel certificate right now so that you can hop onto the next plane to go back home. Do you agree? Is it okay? Guess what I said, guys? Let's pause there. Let's pause there for a while. Guess what I said? I said yes. I said yes. I want to go back to Namibia. I'm ready. I'm tired. And then the lady that was asking me, the first time she was asking me with authority, you had the lady from the embassy. And then later she was like, I didn't think she expected me to say that. And then she was like, hi, boy girl, you are going back to Namibia to go start from where? How are you going to start again in Namibia? Do you have a plan? Do you have a job in Namibia? Have you already applied for a job in Namibia? She asked me this. And then I said, no, I don't have a job. I don't even know where I'm going to start. But what can I do? I'm currently sick with depression. I've been dealing with this thing for so long. I have no other choice but just to go back home. And the people from the embassy, I think there were two, three. There were three ladies. And then there was a man who was the chief of the Ausländerbehörde. The other lady from the embassy was looking at me. She was like, hmm. She kept on saying, hmm. But I was tired and I was exhausted and mutu no and a little bit of a but I think besides that, I'm a fighter. I mean, when I want to fight for something, I've always carried this type of mindset already, and I've already been so exhausted and tired to fight. So I was really mentally ready. I was already vulnerable. It's been 5 years, guys, fighting for the same thing. Fighting for the same thing. I was just ready. I was like, this cannot be my whole life. I cannot be fighting my whole life to stay in one part of the world. Is it worth my is it really worth my health? Is it worth my life, my entire life? Is it worth it? And then in Control, like if I was meant to die and I'm going to die in Namibia, whatever not, then let me just go die in Namibia or whatever. No? I was ready to throw in the towel. So they said, yeah, okay, fine. They also have to show the embassy. I could feel that the embassy was on our side. They were on our side. They also just had to show a cooperation with the Ausländerbehörde. So they couldn't push that way of like, why are you going, stay, whatever, or whatever, no? So the lady was like, okay, fine, come sign the emergency travel certificates here. They are ready. Sign. I signed. She even asked, and the passports of the kids, like the birth certificates, because they cannot issue an emergency travel certificate without a birth certificate. I said, I have them. Remember, I came with a little coffer of documents. I said, I have them. If it was someone else who was not ready to go, didn't want to go, they could have said, okay, I do not have these papers with me here, or something more. Because then without those papers, then you won't get the emergency travel certificates, and without it, we will not leave the country. But I wanted to go. Yo, guys, I wanted to go. I wanted to go. My mind was already in Namibia. So I said, yeah, the papers. I signed my emergency travel certificates. They said, yeah, you're gonna get 3,000 euros. The chief now was saying, you're gonna get 3,000 euros. Yeah. So finish. And then the chief of the Ausländerbehörde was ready to receive my travel emergency certificates. That's how that lady from the embassy. If she ever gets to watch this video, that's how she saved me. That's how God used her to save me. That was the first thing that kept me here. She said, "Oh, yeah, I'm taking my time with this story, right? I think we doesn't have to do part two, or I'll record and then divide them in parts." She said, "I am not going to give you the travel certificates into your hands. You are not the owner of these certificates. You have no, this is a Namibian document. I have to give it to a Namibian, not to a German. Like, this is properties of Namibia." And this is her property. These are her things. I'm going to give it into her hands. I'm going to give it to her. And she has the right as a Namibian to hold on her properties until the day she flies out of the country, or whatever. So she gave these travel certificates into my hands. I could not be sitting here in Germany the moment that lady could have given those certificates to those people. The plane could have been booked. That was a Friday. It was a Friday. The plane could have been booked on Monday. I'm telling you, that was the first saving moment. And I pray that God really blesses that woman. Ooh, even to say that woman, I feel like I'm disrespecting her because she deserves the respect, man. But that was the first thing, and I could see that our embassy was fighting for us. So that was the first thing. I got my papers, but I was still determined. I was like, yes, I was gonna use the certificates. We're going back. So yeah, I took my travel certificates and took my two babies, and we went back home. It felt like a relief. Can I say that? Having to leave that building with a thousand of police officers standing, it already felt like a win. It went in my bank of winning, like, just or release. I felt really released. It felt good to get out of that situation. Not really for me, but even for my kids. We went home. We came back home.